Okay, we are live. According to this thing, we are live. Hello, everyone. Lots of people in the live chat already. Good evening. I'm Lisa, your Time Life operator. May I take your order? Hi, everyone. Wow. So many people to say hello to. There's Brandon Knight. Good to see you as always, Brandon. Hello, MCDJ ACDC. I've got to find a quicker way to say your name. Let's see. McDejakda. McDejakda. Nice to see you. Hello, JoeFan22. Thank you. Hi, Comic Tropes. Hey, there's the Human Mechanism. Hello, Trek Reviewer. Hi, Byron. So many people. Yes, Lisa, the Time Life operator. Would you like the football phone without? Hey, McDowell. Hey, by the way, McDowell, great videos on the War on Cobra game. Very helpful. Hello, John Carling, artist extraordinaire. Yes, SEO toy review. I was hoping somebody would mention the microphone because this is just a little bit of a gag. It's actually not plugged into anything. But hey, it'd be pretty cool if I did have a high-tech microphone, wouldn't it? So actually, I'm using this. Yes, yes, the hard-to-find vintage microphone. Anyway, yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. I don't have a lot of specific topics this time, but I just wanted to see everyone. Hello, Lazarus and Glenn Robbins and Matt. Yes, Breaker Cosplay. Hi, Action Figure Expert. Eric Amen, how do you do? You liked the Flak-Viper review. Thank you. Is Oklahoma closed yet? Well, we might be. For those who don't know, we're supposed to get a lot of snow, but we never get a lot of snow, so I'll believe it when I see it. So we can talk about the most recent review. Hello, Renegade Biker. Nice to see you. Wearing a headset. Yeah. More... Has there been more talk about the 6-inch line? Not yet, but I expect we'll be hearing something soon. Toy Fair is this month, so I'm expecting that we'll hear something about something, at least. Hi, Troy Smith. And who asked about comments? Somebody asked about their comments. Sorry, I have not read through all the comments on the most recent video yet, because, well, two reasons. First, it was the Super Bowl, so I was watching the game. And then I've been in court basically all the time that I've been at work. And then the rest of the time I've been writing because I'm trying to get the next review written. So I'm a little bit behind, so I've been working a lot. But I'll try to get through everything as quickly as I can. And I know people have sent me messages, too, that I haven't responded to, and I'm sorry about that, too. I'm doing the best I can. Arkansas is also in the path of this storm. Super Bowl was great, but halftime was weird. Yeah. It was a better Super Bowl than last year. At least stuff happened. SEO says G.I. Joe was a brand listed on the invite to the Hasbro press event it just got today. Yeah, so we should hear something, right? We should hear something. Something should come out of Toy Fair. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Shakira. Okay, yeah. So as soon as I saw the turkey gobble on the Super Bowl, the halftime show, the first thing I immediately thought of was Cobra Law, and then I had to make that thing, and I can't apologize. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know how many subscribers I lost over that, but it doesn't matter. They can go. Sorry, bye guys. But I just had to do it. McDowell watched the entire 30 minutes. You, sir, are a glutton for punishment. But by the way, McDowell, again, really cool videos on the War on Cobra game. They've been very helpful. If you are playing the the comments on the 30 minutes of Shakira. That just went up last night, right? I put that video up. I uploaded it shortly before I went to bed, and I actually haven't checked it. Other than to just kind of look at that and see that I have fewer or I have more thumbs down than usual. Oh well. So yes, Eric Hughes, will they ever review the 90s Street Fighter Joe line? I can't give away any information, but there may be something in the works. Hello, Dwayne Morgan, and I know there are people that have come in that I haven't said hi to, so I'm sorry if I didn't say hi. But as always, we can talk about the most recent review. I reviewed Bazooka. We got back to the 80s. And by the way, I've been hinting for quite some time that I was going to review Bazooka. Hello, Mezzed Up One. Rob the Timekeeper, how you doing? So I've been hinting at a Bazooka review for a few weeks now. Everybody says they don't want to know what's coming. They want to be surprised, and that's fine. But I still drop hints from time to time. Yeah, they totally killed off Bazooka in Resolute in a completely, unceremonious way. He was just dead. Joburg scored a bunch of Street Fighter figures in a stay in China. I thought I listened to the latest podcast, but I may have missed that part. But that's cool. I know that Steven from Joburg has been spending a lot of time in China and has found some cool stuff there. Live on tape from Hollywood. Bazooka. Obviously, not obviously. The figure, the red jersey annoyed me as a kid, but it doesn't annoy me so much now, just because I kind of get the origins of it a bit more. Wallaroo, 30 seconds is all you need. The rest of it is just more of that. Who killed? It's been a while since I've seen it, but wasn't it suggested that it was Storm Shadow that killed Bazooka? I think, it wasn't it Storm Shadow. Brandon Knight says Storm Shadow, but I think that was right. In the Devil's Due comics, Bazooka was too out of shape to get called back to the team. Yo, Joe from Canada. Hello, Canada from the United States. Renegade Biker. I'll take all the thumbs down. I don't care. It had to be done, and I had to do it. Some things are just necessary. They have to exist. I guess Bazooka had a farting problem, I suppose. Anyway, hold on. Joe Fan 22 got an offer for a Sky Striker with Ace for $100. Should I accept? It depends on how complete it is. Does it have the hard to find parts? Is the canopy intact? Does it have the box? I don't know. It's been a while since I've priced a Sky Striker. Comic Trope says, what comedy bit are you most proud of pulling off? That's a good question. There have been some recently that I have been kind of happy with. The Desert Fox review with the Halloween prank with the scorpion. I liked that. The Action Stars cereal bit. I wasn't sure if that was going to come together, but I kind of liked that. And SEO Toy Reviews, the skit with the jerseys was kind of a callback to an earlier skit that I did where I took the jersey off and had another one under it. Well, this time, I take two off, and I have a third one. So anyway, it's kind of an extension of that one. McJack is asking, does anyone have a mint on sealed card, Mega Marine Blast Off for sale? I do not. If I did, you could probably have it, but I don't have one. I actually don't have a lot of clutter around me right now, so I don't have stuff. Nothing wrong with the Shakira loop. I just muted it. Yeah, that's probably for the best. And by the way, I don't know if anybody knows this, but if you start a video, you don't have to finish it. I know it's weird, but like there's this back button, and you can stop it like any time. The only thing I have like handy is like I set up Bazooka and the fridge for a picture before the game. That's all I have out right now. These guys and their accessories. The studio was extremely messy this weekend, and I actually went through, and it's not perfectly clean, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. SEO Toy Review says I shouldn't have said anything about that because watch time is important. I take that back. Once you start the video, it's impossible to stop. If you stop, you get electrocuted. Does it hurt ratings? I have no idea, Wallaroo. I honestly don't. I hope everybody liked the Bazooka review. I've been looking forward to doing that for a while. And I don't know if anybody noticed, but I finally got Tiger Force Bazooka. That's a figure that I've been talking about getting for years. So I finally got it. I got it specifically so I could have it for a reference in that review. So Tiger Force Bazooka, check. Make that an HCC788 tradition. Oh, Dwayne, that's a nice idea. By the way, speaking of traditions, Timmer from Half the Battle and I have a tradition that's been going for about 3 years now where we live tweet the Super Bowl. So he watches it in Belgium and I watch it in the United States, and we each pick a team and we live tweet the game, and it's been a lot of fun. So if you have the Twitter, you should check that out on the Twitter. Matt asks if it was hard to find the Tiger Force Bazooka. It wasn't hard to find a Tiger Force Bazooka, but it can be a little bit hard to find one that's in decent shape. I saw a whole bunch of them that were kind of rough shape, but I found one that I think is in pretty good shape. That's something that you can add to your Super Bowl experience. Hello WWJD85. We live tweet the Super Bowl. We each pick a team. This year, as I predicted in the Bazooka review, I picked the 49ers to win, which, as we all know, was wrong. When we were going to pick teams on Twitter, Timmer wanted the 49ers. So I said, hey, okay, you want the 49ers, I'll switch teams. It doesn't matter to me. So I took the Chiefs. I took the Chiefs because Timmer wanted the Niners. And we all know how that worked out. Hello, Green Yeti. How you doing? Hello, Cobra Island. Greetings from the United States. The new Attitude Era. I think my attitude's pretty good. I'm not too mean all the time. RTD1 says, asks if I'm doing tier levels for the reviews. I've kind of, I'm sort of getting away from that, because I just wasn't sure how really valid the tiers were. There are so many factors that go into it. There were too many times where I just sort of guessing where it would go, or just like putting things in the middle tier because for reasons. I kind of feel like I want to leave it up to the viewer to decide, if it's top tier, middle tier, whatever. But I'll try to, still give my opinion on everything and whether I like the figure or not. But I was struggling with the tier system. It might have worked better if I had a more exact system to it when I started. What is the most rare figure that you get which costs cheaper by accident? Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to have to think about that. I know I've gotten some good bargains. I got a sealed fridge action figure for like $20. That's not too bad. Hello, Robert Monty. Nice to see you. Comic Tropes asks, what was I like as a teenager and young adult? What was I into? Well, as a teenager, I was really into art. Picture. Everybody still got me? SEO Tour Review got a good deal on a Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander because it was just listed as straight arm. Those are the things that you live for as a collector. Those kind of deals. Okay, all right. I think the bandwidth is good now. Okay, all right. Hopefully I'm back. As a teenager, I was just really into art and comic books, and I just really wanted to be a comic book artist. I went to art school in Dallas. I didn't do very well there, didn't last very long, came back home. In my early 20s, I was heavily involved in our local goth scene, so I had really long black hair, and I went to a lot of concerts and clubs and parties, and that was my early to mid 20s, basically until I decided to go back to school, finish my degree. Then I cut the hair and kind of tried to make a go of academics. So Cobra lag. So hopefully that the lag is fixed now. Which Joe is the most emo? Who is the most... I don't know. Well, Snake Eyes kind of all black like he's going to a funeral. Anyway, that was... Yeah. Brandon says, you were goth, so was I. Yeah, that was the thing back then. And it was... Lowlight. That's a good answer. How HCC goth? I was super gothy. I leaned more toward industrial music at the time. I just I liked a lot of underground music, and had friends that ran some local clubs and underground clubs, and we did a lot of that. There used to be, I don't know if there still is, but there used to be an annual event called the Burning of the Bunny that everybody went to. It was a fairly early in the year. It was like an anti-Valentine's Day celebration. It was, now I think it was in the spring, but it was to kick out to kick off the party season. It was also like an anti-fertility ritual. So if you go, everybody went and they all brought like little stuffed bunny rabbits, right? stuffed bunnies, not live bunnies, but like plush toy bunny rabbits, and they would make a big bonfire out of the bunny rabbits, and that was the burning of the bunny. And so the sort of the lore was that if you burn your bunny at the burning of the bunny, that you will not get pregnant for, that year. So it's anti-fertility ritual. And, that worked really well because I didn't get pregnant at all. I don't know if anybody brought Care Bears. I think there was a Care Bear bunny. But anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of information you didn't really care about. Agnes says, you have open space near the ceiling. Would you consider putting a long, narrow shelf for action figures? Maybe, but I'm concerned about that thing. The green screen, the bar. If I have to elevate it for any reason, then I may need that space. There are ways that I can use this space more efficiently. I just really haven't had time to rearrange. I mean, I have moved things around a little bit. But yeah, I didn't get pregnant. Yeah. Trek Reviewer says, if the G.I. Joe toy line had continued deeper into the 90s, could you have seen a figure based on NFL player... Oh, Reggie White. That would have been cool. The Minister of Defense, Reggie White. I don't know if they would have gone that direction and gone back to like real life football players, mainly because I don't know how successful the Fridge figure was. I don't know if it sold very well, but I would have thought it would have been really awesome to get a Reggie White figure. That would have been really cool. A chaplain, yeah. But just because Reggie White was great, yeah, I don't know, like, I don't think there was necessarily all that great a connection to G.I. Joe for the Fridge. Oh, Small Town Machine Shop sends a super chat, says, hi everyone, love the live stream. Well, I love you being here. Thank you, Small Town Machine Shop. Much appreciated. But I mean, I assumed that they got the Fridge, one, because he was, popular and in the media at the time, and number two, that he was in that recent Super Bowl where the Bears beat the Patriots. So I assumed that's the connection. JediDB said didn't do very well, which is why they never went forward with the Rocky Balboa figure. Yeah, I don't think it sold great, the Fridge figure. But it doesn't help that they never integrated the Fridge into any media. I mean, he got an animated commercial, but Sergeant Slaughter at least was in the cartoon and the comic book, and that helps at least. RTD1 says, my Fridge arrived faster than Sergeant Slaughter did. There you go. The Fridge can probably run faster. You can buy 10 Flak-Vipers. I like I said, it didn't come with a lot of topics. But I wanted to hang out with you guys and say hi. It's been very busy and hectic in my life. So this is a nice respite from that. Agnetha says, Dr. Mindbender version 2 took a lot of hits from shooting toys. How much damage did he take, and how many more can he take before he needs to be replaced? Actually, I haven't seen any chips or damage. And by the way, I don't have any special hate for that figure. I mean, obviously I don't like the yellow and purple. We've been over that. I've reviewed it. But really, I started shooting at that figure just because it was handy. It was just there when I was testing one of the missiles. And so the next time I tested a missile, I thought, oh, why not just use the same figure? And then, it just kind of became a tradition from there. I just saw What's on Joe Mine come in. It says, Fridge was plenty of popular. Rocky fell through because Stallone bailed. That is at least what I've heard. But again, I don't know how the Fridge sold. I mean, I was sort of moving in a different direction at the time it came out, so I didn't get it, but apparently enough other people did that there are plenty on the aftermarket. Renegade Biker says, I was a little confused about how they did not put in Joe Montana when they made the Fridge. He was a great player along with the Fridge, in my opinion. Yeah, that was a little surprising, but I suspect that doing a figure of basically a bigger name like Joe Montana would have been a lot more expensive. They would have had to pay more for the rights. Whereas I think the Fridge was, kind of happy to have the opportunity. Shooting Mindbender is a part of your tribal branding, like the About 90 Degrees. Yeah. So that figure just happened to be within reach, so I just started shooting at that figure. And it doesn't mean I love the figure, but I also don't have any special hate for it either. It was just there. Anyone want to see the Games Master appear again? That's an interesting question. Rambo cartoon. There was a thing with the rights to that. I got screwed up. I'm not sure. At the time I saw the Rocky profile in Order of Battle, I wasn't really sure how I felt about that, because I liked the Rocky movies. I did. But with the addition of Sergeant Slaughter and eventually the Fridge, I just wasn't sure that I just wasn't sure I wanted a Rocky G.I. Joe. Now I would have been, thrilled to get a Rocky G.I. Joe, because that would have really, really unique part of G.I. Joe's history. But I was unsure. Comic Trope says you shot a different figure early on. Points for... I don't even remember. I don't even remember what the other figure was that I shot. Comic Tropes will have to... I'll have to trust Comic Tropes, because I don't remember. I know that I didn't always use Dr. Mindbender, but once I started using Dr. Mindbender, I just kept going back to that one. I must break you. Tony says, next to my kid being born, becoming a Joe is the greatest day of my life. Yo, Joe. Did Rocky ever kill someone in the ring? Rocky. I don't know if everyone enjoyed the Big Boa review, but the Big Boa review was one of the more satisfying reviews that I've done. I was just really happy with how that turned out. He makes a great target. He's very brightly colored. It's easy to spot on that black background. Occam's Razor says, hate the 6-inch figure. I haven't seen the 6-inch figures. They're not out yet, so, it's hard to say what they will be like when nobody's seen them yet. Adrian! Rocky killed his... that's the kind of the implication, is that Rocky kind of took too many hits to the head and maybe a few too many concussions. The arm wrestling movie. Rocky about... nobody remembers that movie, though. That is the one Rocky movie that I have a blind spot for that movie. And I've seen it, but I just I never think of it. What specialty did G.I. Joe and Cobra need that never got addressed? Taylor. Over the Top. Yeah, Over the Top is one of those movies that, I mean, it's not good, but it's entertaining. It's ridiculous enough that it's fun to watch. I mean the premise for it is, being both a trucker movie and an arm wrestling movie and a road trip movie and a father and son, reconnecting movie. That's a lot of things that Over the Top is trying to be, but in general, it's not boring. Oh, and there was that subplot too, where the kid plays pinball or something like that. Agatha says, "Would you army build Ice Cream Soldier and use them like bowling pins?" That's an interesting idea. Get to strap. Oh, hey, Rhinestone with Dolly Parton. That's if you haven't seen Rhinestone with Dolly Parton and Sylvester Stallone, do yourself a favor. I'm not saying that you'll like it, right? I'm not saying it's a good movie, but you should, before anybody describes it to you, you should probably see it for yourself. Yeah, you turn it. It's like flipping on a switch. You become a machine. Ice Cream Soldier would have been better Cobra Viper than a Joe. Well, they did eventually repaint it as a Cobra figure, and the repaint is definitely better. I still don't love the helmet, right? The helmet, the shape of the helmet is not, I don't think is fantastic, but the color change helped. Death Race 2000. You guys, I've seen these movies, and you guys make me want to watch them again. I hardly have time to watch movies, right? I want to watch movies, but there's so many movies I haven't seen lately, just because I've been so busy, with work and making videos and stuff. Yeah, you guys are reminding me of a lot of movies that I've enjoyed watching, and now I want to see them again. I just gotta somehow find a way to watch these movies again. Megaforce. So yeah, I think every G.I. Joe fan should see Megaforce, and if you see Megaforce, you'll know what I mean. Trek Review says, "Did you know one of the secondary pieces of music from the Deke version of G.I. Joe would later be used in the Double Dragon cartoon?" I did not know that, but I don't know if I've seen the Double Dragon cartoon. Stop or my mom will shoot. Yeah, I think that movie got panned by critics at the time, but Sylvester Stallone and Estelle Getty, how can you top that combo? And don't you? I'm sure everybody who tuned in here to see a G.I. Joe live stream, they're really enjoying all of the Sylvester Stallone movie talk. Welcome to the show, everyone. But seriously, thanks for being here. I didn't, like I said, I didn't bring a lot of topics to talk about tonight. I just wanted to hang out with you guys. Oh, I can tell you something. There is something I can tell you. You will get a video tomorrow. There will be, it's the donation unboxing video for everything that I got in January. That's going to go up tomorrow. And before anybody says anything, I know I'm way behind on comic book reviews, but right now I'm just barely keeping up with my regular reviews, so I just haven't had time to do it. So I'm doing the best I can. But I really want to get back to the comic book reviews because we're getting into a really fun era of the comic book series. RTD1 says, anyone have Rambo figures when they were on the shelves? Never did, and remember they were the most expensive figures of that time in toy stores. I did have a few Rambo figures. I had Rambo, and like the original shirtless Rambo, like he was in Rambo Part 2. And I think I had a Colonel Troutman, and I think I had a Ninja. And I think that's it. And I thought they were cool figures. I didn't have any of the vehicles or playsets. I thought they were cool figures, but they weren't in the right scale to play with G.I. Joe, and that's how I really wanted to do it. I wanted to play with them in G.I. Joe, but they were, compared to G.I. Joe, they were like 10 feet tall. But yeah, I did have a few. I did have a few of them. They were not bad. I mean, they were well put together figures. Hey, codename Cujo, nice to see you. Always a pleasure to see Cujo in here. Says, did you, Occam's Razor says, did I have Sergeant Rock figures? I did have a few Sergeant Rock figures, and I think I mainly used them for customizing purposes. But I remember picking up a few of them. Byron asks about Chuck Norris action figures. I had, oh no, hold on. I think I'm confusing those with something else. I don't think I had the Karate Commandos figures. I don't believe so. At least if I did, I don't remember it. Tony Jackson says the Crusader was just part of the Defiant set. It was, I mean, mostly. It was mostly just the shuttle part. It had some parts recolored, but it also had like a drone vehicle that was a white version of the drone that came with the Cobra Raven. So it has that added to it. But the main part of the vehicle is like a recolored and reissued from the Defiant shuttle. Comic Trope says, what military action figure line was the one made from metal? That was Eagle Force. Oh, Chromius got to it before I could. It's Eagle Force. I had a few of those too, and I actually kind of liked those too, but again, the same problem, because they were smaller, I couldn't play with them with my Joes. Yeah, the Eagle Force figures, they were neat little things. I mean, for what they were all right, and certainly durable, because they were metal. Nyquist, you raise an issue about Clutch that others have also raised. What's on Joe Mind says, only one Joe movie. I have. He is probably answering somebody else's comment that I missed, so sorry about that. About the Snake Eyes movie and the G.I. Joe movie. Well, Snake Eyes is definitely going. They're shooting it, and it should be out sometime in October. If we get anything after that, I think it will depend heavily on how the Snake Eyes movie does. So everybody should hope that it does well. What's on Joe Mind says the Chuckles movie is just a script that's been making the rounds for a decade. Yeah, that is my understanding. Is that it's not a Chuckles movie in the works. In fact, that story seems to churn up every once in a while, but I don't know that that's. I don't think that's actually in the works. From the tattoo, it really wasn't that painful, honestly. It was more irritating than painful. It was not bad. Is Toxo Zombie going to be in the 90s toy reviews this year? I cannot disclose that. Mainly because I don't know. Because half of the year's schedule isn't made yet, so the last half of the year I have to decide what I'm going to do. Retro original figures. Do you see them coming to retail with the new movie like Hasbro did with the original Star Wars line? I'm not so sure they will do that with like G.I. Joe retro figures. I think mainly because I think that would be expensive. The construction is a bit different from the old Star Wars figures, so I think that might be a bit pricey. But I do think we will see some. I think we will see a line of figures for the movie, which will probably include some vintage-looking figures, or vintage with their vintage uniforms. As for what kind of figures, I really don't know. We haven't heard anything yet. We haven't seen anything yet. But I'm hoping that something will come out of Toy Fair that we can actually look at and talk about. And I mentioned before, I don't collect modern figures, so I don't really have a dog in that fight. But I know a lot of you guys do collect modern figures, and I would like for you to get figures that you want. I'd also like there to be an effort to bring in more fans, new fans. That's important. In fact, for me, bringing in new fans is more important than having stuff to sell to everybody who's already a fan. I'd like to see some young people. I'd like to see some fresh blood in the fandom, and we will welcome new fans. At least on this corner of the internet, I will be welcoming of new fans, and hopefully the waters will be warm for anyone who wants to jump in. And SEO Toy Review says, I have an appointment to see Hasbro's booth the day after the press event. I might be a little late, but hopefully I'll get to film a little more. Ooh, so SEO Toy Reviews will be there. All right, well, SEO Toy Reviews. We want the scoop. All right, we want the real poop. We need all the dirt. We need you to ask the tough questions. So yeah, we'll see. I am remaining cautiously optimistic. The Snake Eyes movie, I've had so many misgivings about what we've heard about the movie, but I've had so many misgivings that I've sort of come around to the other side, to the point where I have to go into this movie with a clean slate. I just have to not bring anything into the movie with me and hope that I get something out, and hope that it's enjoyable without having expectations. So that's kind of where I am with the Snake Eyes movie. I am going to hope that I enjoy it, but I think more importantly, hope that a lot of other people enjoy it so that it makes money and that we can have more G.I. Joe in the popular media. Agnetha says, does it feel like Christmas when you open your donated boxes? Because it feels like Christmas watching. Yeah, this is... I almost feel like I don't deserve this because I get every month is like Christmas, and I still caution everyone to not send anything unless you really, really want to. I get more stuff than I ever expect to get, and I appreciate it. I really do, but I worry. I don't want to take more than I deserve. I don't want to take too much. But it's exciting to open things. I've been overwhelmed with some of the surprises that I've received. MCDJ ACDC, new donations. Yes, there are new donations, and you will see them tomorrow. You should see a video tomorrow. Does General Flag know Snake Eyes' real name? I think he would have to, right? And Hawk. Hawk would have to know his real name, I would think. I mean, yes, it's classified, but he's not going to recruit the guy for the team if he doesn't know him and he's not able to, like, look up his history and, you know, make sure that this guy has the experience and he'll be a team player. I would think that he would have to know. He would have to know. Weems Wallace says, well, forget that. I'm bringing some Reese's peanut butter cups, maybe some gummy. Yeah, okay, good point, Weems. I will be bringing some of those things into the movie. Good point. He has to pump Snake Eyes for his name, and Snake Eyes ain't talking. I thought we got off of pumping things, right, or pumping people when we did story time last week, where there was way too much pumping of people. So let's get off the pumping of people because I'll get demonetized. Yeah, they'd have to do a background check on him. So he'd have to know. And Stalker would know, and Storm Shadow would know too. One thing that I think is interesting is that even though Stalker and Storm Shadow would definitely know Snake Eyes' real name, they only ever call him Snake Eyes. And do you remember when Scarlet was in a coma in the comic book series, and Snake Eyes was at her bedside, and Snake Eyes actually was able to say a word, right? It was the only word that I believe he spoke, and he said Scarlet. And that I thought was an intriguing choice, because he didn't call her by her real name. He called her by her code name. So, do they just use the code names like nicknames? Like that's just what we call each other now? I don't know. I thought that was an intriguing choice. But, yeah. Anyway, there's something to think about. Could use the Snake Eyes movie for the 2020 New Year's live stream. If it's out on DVD and Blu-ray there, I may do that. Also, I've mentioned before that I'm not going to comment on the Snake Eyes movie until I have at least seen it twice. I'm going to see it at least 2 times, just to make sure I know exactly how I feel about it. No hot takes here. But I'm gonna be optimistic, and I'm going to let the movie, I'm gonna let the movie be what it is. I'm going to let them take chances. When you take chances and when you take risks, they don't all work out, right? But it's also hard to do anything great unless you take risks. So I'm hoping that they will take some risks, take some chances, be bold, do something extraordinary. Even if not every part of it works perfectly well, I'm hoping that they will really try to make a movie that people will care about. John Carling says they do wear specific costumes for every situation, so why not their code names? That's yeah, that's true. They do tend to wear the same outfit. Brandon says, how's the 4K camera? It's working out. Thank you for asking. The video's working out. I'm trying to figure out how to do the audio. I think I need to do something different with the audio. And Jack Loera is here, and I have to thank Jack again for the new camera. Thank you, Jack. Thank you 1,000 times. Thank you. But I really am happy with the camera. The audio, I'm having to learn how to do the audio correctly with it. But I'm making progress on that. So in the long run, it should be hopefully really, really good quality. We're working on it. But yeah, thanks for asking. See, I've got fans that share the file names of both Scarlet and CoverGirl. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that, I would expect that even if you go by a code name, like using a person's real name would be, more friendly. Or in case of Scarlet and Snake Eyes, it would be more intimate to use real names. But yeah, they're almost like superhero names, right? They're like secret identities, and as long as you're wearing the costume, that's your identity at that time. CPU fan noise. I can't do nothing about that right now. Oh yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with the live chat. This is fun, isn't it? Watching me try to keep up with the live chat. We got about 10 minutes. Next week, next week there is a possibility that I may not do the live stream because my daughter may be in town that day, and so I may be out to dinner, having a family dinner. So if I do, I won't do the live stream. If I'm not doing that, then I will. But I just wanted to let everybody know that if we're out at a family dinner, that I might have to skip the live stream next week. So, dog is barking. Sorry. But, yeah, so, fair warning. But whenever we do the next one, be it next week or the following week, I will try to have some topics and some activities. Maybe we will do story time. We may take another crack at that book that we did last week, because that book is bonkers. That book was hilarious. I want to see what happens with some of the other possibilities in that book. I want to see what the other fates are. So I think about redoing the same book just to see where that goes. So anyway, so I just a little housekeeping. Uncle Hoodie's story time. Yeah. Sorry, the dog is being... I don't know if you can hear the dog barking, but she's being very loud. Well, the hell are the singing cats? Yes, I'm just that good that I can defuse a grenade in midair, right? It's just so it's so silly, it's so absurd that I have to assume that that Hasbro wasn't paying very close attention to it, and the writer was just having a ball. Writer was just hitting the keys, and anything that he thought of, that's what came out. And at the end of that, we're pumping people for information, and we end up blowing up a school. That's how that storyline ended. We blew up a school. There were two choices that we could make, right? Because we did not go to the summit. If we go to the summit, that we could have a totally different outcome. I don't think that was an R.L. Stine book. Oh, for those who don't know, R.L. Stine did write a couple of those G.I. Joe Find Your Fate books. There's a bit of trivia for you. Yeah. The hand grenade in the lap was the true ending. Yeah, that would be the end. In fact, that might be the end of all of the Joes around the table. I just can't think of a crazier way to try to prove that somebody is highly skilled than just toss a hand grenade, just toss it on the table there. And by the way, who's going to actually try to defuse that thing in like the 3 seconds that you have before it explodes? I mean, even if I were fairly confident in my abilities to defuse a grenade, I don't even know how you do that. But if I were confident, I would still probably play the odds and try to run. Try to get away, take cover somewhere. Yeah, Brandon, I thought it was going to turn out to be a fake grenade, but the way the story's written, apparently it's a real grenade that the protagonist is able to magically defuse before it blows. Glenn Robbins says, did Stephen King write Crystal Ball's file card? I believe that is confirmed. There was an interview that he did a few years back with his son, in which I think they more or less confirmed that Stephen King wrote Crystal Ball's file card. I think that myth is confirmed now. I don't remember where the interview was, but I posted it online on social media a couple years ago. I could probably find it again, but I don't remember right off the top of my head where it was. But yeah, Story said you had a homemade device to diffuse it, like a magic grenade. Yeah, and you always have that with you, right? You gotta have that on your belt, because you never know when you'll have to defuse a grenade. He promoted G.I. Joe toys in his books. That is also true, is that there are some lines in at least one of the books that included some G.I. Joe character names. So yeah, but I believe it's because his son was a fan. So when you're Stephen King and your son is a fan of G.I. Joe, you get special treatment. You just call somebody up, and then you're writing a G.I. Joe file card. Cobra is pretty much made up of mercs and disenfranchised anarchists. That is the way that a lot of the file cards are written. In my mind, Cobra is a little different from that. I mean, Larry got a lot of mileage out of this idea that Cobra is a bunch of like selfish mercenaries and always looking out for their own self-interest and not really caring about the team or the organization. But I kind of tend to think that Cobra Troopers would have more of an ideological loyalty to Cobra Commander, more so than like monetary gain. I see them as more fanatical, but that's just me. I mean that's not necessarily how they're written, at least most of the time. But that's just how I imagine them. I think to me it makes sense that an organization like that would be made of fanatical followers with some kind of ideological bent. That is typically the way that you get a lot of people to march in lockstep and to follow a leader and to practice violence. So anyway, that's kind of how I picture them. Destro did have a sense of honor. That is true. But Destro was extraordinary. He was kind of his own operator. And I think that was a contrast between Destro and Cobra. At least, again, that's how I see it. Social Darwinist rule of toughest, baddest, most ruthless. You can have, you can have your ideology, sort of centered around that. The Siboney's Liberation Army. That's a good reference, John. That's actually that's not a bad reference. If you think about that, that's not bad. I just realized that it's about 8 o'clock. It's about time to wrap us up. So I am going to wind down and let you guys go. I appreciate the live chat. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I apologize for not bringing a lot of topics this time. I do try to have stuff that will kind of drive the conversation and we can get everybody's opinion about and discuss it, but I just didn't have a whole lot this evening. I will have more next time, but thanks everyone. You will be getting a video tomorrow, and that's all I got. I will let you guys go. Thanks for being cool. I'll see you in the next review and the next live stream, and I will say goodnight. Bye everybody. But wait, hold on. It's not plugged in. Lisa, your Time Life operator, says good night. Good night. Bye.